Alright, Connlyn Sinclair here. It's time for my second question and answer video. You might have noticed in my previous couple of videos I'm wearing the same outfit. That's because they were all filmed at the same time. Sadly, as a busy freelancer artist who is also going back to school to get his teaching license, my time is incredibly busy, and I had to film 5 videos at once. But I love this jacket. This jacket is a gift from my aunt that I got when I graduated junior college. And so don't laugh at me too much for wearing the same clothes. I am a little bit of a chuny and love this jacket because I look like a biker. And you guys can't see me over the internet that well, but I am an absolutely giant biker looking guy. If I took off the glasses and wore the kind of shirt I usually wore instead of the fancy button up, I'd look like I belonged on a Sons of Anarchy episode. It's kind of funny. But today's question and answer segment is about romance genre. I figure that a lot of guys don't respect the romance genre, and I think it is a genre that should be respected. I mean, how can I say that I read Pulp Fiction by Talbot Munday and look down on people who read romance? I think that's stupid. I actually have read some romance. The first question I have is actually, do you like the romance genre? And I read some Irish Johansson in middle school. Her stuff is romantic thrillers. Her novel Storm Cycle was a big influence on me in middle school. I probably wouldn't like it now. I've read so many other things, but I certainly liked it back then. I've also watched a lot of horror romances. I think that's a genre that's often overlooked by people who look down on romance. I think combining horror and romance has a long-standing tradition. Dracula is a horror romance. Victor Frankenstein talks a lot about his fiancée, and the Frankenstein's monster murders his fiancée. It's the most pivotal part of the book. But yeah, I love horror romance. A good romance and a good horror, you can't get much better than that. So the follow-up question to that is, of course, what's the difference between a horror romance and a paranormal romance? And I think paranormal romance is a subset of horror romance. It's always fun when a guy or gal romances a paranormal entity. There's a very sad Japanese comic about a guy romancing a ghost and looking into her death. It's called Dusk Maiden of Amnesia. It's sadly not streaming anymore, but I cried at the end of it. It was great. But horror romance doesn't have to be paranormal romance. Another great Japanese horror comic, The Future Diary, is about a young man who is dating his stalker. And I mean, that's a horrific scenario. I mean, that's terrifying. Can you imagine dating your stalker? I mean, he actually falls in love with his stalker, even though she's nuts. But it's very good romantic material there. I'm totally sorry, my phone has frozen up, and I have the questions down here on my phone, as you can see. Do I have any follow-up questions? Oh, you read cozy romances, or cozy mysteries. Don't those count as romances? Yes, all of the cozy mysteries you'll find on Hallmark Channel are romances. You should just subscribe to Hallmark Channel for their cozy mysteries. But I think the appeal of cozy mysteries is in the mystery more than the romance. I mean, many cozy mystery protagonists, they get married in the second or third book, and from then on, their husbands are just sort of there, and there's not a big romance angle to it anymore. Unless you get to like the Curious Caterer books, and Goldie's husband is the detective working the case 90% of the time. That's always some good romantic drama there, but I think cozy mysteries are more about the crime than they are about the romance, but that's just me. Have I written any romances? And the answer is no. My um, Sometimes I call it my new adult dystopian novel, and sometimes my YA dystopian novel does include the protagonist getting married. But the protagonist's girlfriend and he never actually talk over the course of the novel because it's written as a journal. And because it's a journal, nothing really romantic happens because it's all recollections. If I hadn't written it as a journal, I probably would have included some romantic scenes, but I have not been in a relationship since middle school and probably am not qualified to write about stuff like that, honestly. So don't expect that any of my recurring heroes on Medium are going to get any love interest anytime soon. Yeah. Do I have any follow-up questions? I do not. So that is a Q&A about romance. And when you see me next, I'll likely be wearing a different shirt because that video will have been filmed at a different time. Thank you so much for watching me, and aloha, everyone.